this is a video about my playthrough, and I'm going to do a introduction to my base and also a review of my base, and this will be a conclusion to my playthrough, which I've spent over, I don't know, 300 or 400 hours into this base. And this is strictly speaking, it's my second playthrough. My first playthrough I played for like 170 hours, and I accidentally deleted my blueprint, so here we are. So this will be a short introduction, and I don't plan to spend a lot of time on this video. It'll be quick. Also, I don't have a draft, so I'll just be a very unorganized. So where do I start? So let's have the map view of my base, and it's let's talk about the overall plan. As you can see, I built all of my base on this island, and this island has 3 parts. And my starting point is a little bit below this island, and I start from here, and I migrated about twice. And finally, I migrated into this island sort of setup. But I have from the beginning, I've always think about moving into the island because I saw this gigantic lake. Well, it was gigantic to me at the beginning, but then I realized it's actually very tiny. I can only build a 100 SPM base from this lake. And that's what I can do in my second playthrough. I think I tried as best as I can, but I'm actually very proud of it. So this is a lake base, island base, and I have 3 parts, and all of the production or smelting or everything is on this island, and the rest are just outposts. You can see many small outposts using solar energy, so they are self-sufficient and they have some limited amount of defense. But I don't find it very difficult to do defense on this map. I don't know why. I don't find it as hard as other people. So roughly I have 5 iron outposts and 6, if I remember correctly, 6 bronze outposts. And I do this to satisfy my goal of 100 SPN. And some of these outposts are stuck because I don't actually need that much resource. So you can see some are running, and these trains, I use long trains, relatively speaking. I use 2, 6 or 2 7 trains, and I have 6 or 7 or 8, I can't remember, crude oil outposts as well. So those are the outposts. So I'm gonna spend more time on my main base where everything is in. Also, don't forget, I need 1 lane of coal, so I have this coal outpost, and I have this 1 lane of stone, so this is a stone outpost. That's the only 2 outposts that is no iron or crude oil. Oh, I also have this uranium outpost, which I find eventually that I only need 1 miner. This is ridiculous. I only need 1 miner in this uranium outpost to satisfy my gigantic base. All of the resource in my gigantic base. I only need 1 uranium outpost and 1 miner. This is crazy. So speaking of which, let's start from this the power, the heart of the main base, which is I'm using let's move over there because I don't have radar and part of the wheel is blocked. So I use 4 reactor setup, and I designed this by myself, and it's pretty symmetric, and it has self energy saving mode, which I use all of this. Now there's too much steam. Let's look at it from the blueprint I made. So I have this these electric circuits to help me reduce the cost of the cells. And basically it try to detect the level of steam in the system, and if the steam is too high, it will not put more cells into the reactor. If the steam is low, it will put more resource. I believe you'll put 2 cells into one reactor at a time, and then you wait for 4 minutes before you put another one. It's accomplished by using these circuits, which I'm not going to spend time discussing it. It's a headache to eventually get it correct. It's really, I'm really proud of this setup. And this is I don't know how to pronounce that word. It's a Korovsek enrichment process, and it's also using it's heavy use of circuits, which I am very satisfied with. And the rest is smelting, a lot of smelting, a lot of smelting, and there's nothing much going on. We don't need to explain too much. And here's one of my 3 change stations. This change station have 2 chains. It has 2 substations. It receives. Let me see what's going on here. Okay, doesn't matter. Forget it. Yeah, it has a bronze station and a stone station. And this bronze station, I try to do like somewhere between 6 lanes to 7 lanes of bronze and only 1 lane of stone. And on the left is my iron station. This iron station also have a tiny little what do you call it? Uranium station beside it. And by the way, these stations are connected to the outside, but the main island is completely disconnected. As you can see from the map, the island is completely disconnected. It's a island, literally island. It's not like a half island. And this goes the same with the other 2 parts of my base as well. And from here I use a lot of balancers, and it puts all of my resources into the second part, which is the heavy pollution part. I'll call it the heavy pollution part of my base. And I don't know what to say, but it gets a bit random, the placement of this. This is RCU, and I design all of these blueprints myself, and I just place it at random places, and eventually I get this. It looks complicated, but it's ordered in a sense. So I don't know. It's both chaotic and beautiful. Oh, by the way, this is the advanced oil processing farm, and I'm also very proud of this design. I designed all of them myself, and I don't know. At first I thought I wouldn't be able to squeeze enough this refinery into my base because the space is too limited. But I came up with this setup, and eventually I'm able to do this processing of enough oils. And I like this as well. It's a little flower shape. It produces resin kits, and I have 4 of these little flowers in my base. It produces resin kits, and it's standalone. And the third chain station is the crude oil and this coal. And nothing to speak here. I also have a boat-shape bridge landfill. And this is the rocket fuel farm, and this is the more of the advanced products. And this is the mall. On the right side is the mall, and on the left side is the yellow science, blue science, and what's this? LCU. Is this LCU? What's this called? LD. Anyway, English is not my first language, if you haven't noticed. And another very interesting and I think very satisfying. You decide the thing and they are very satisfying to you when they finally work. I don't know how to say this, but it's generally speaking, it's a sushi belt lab, and it can consume, I think, about 200 science packs per minute. So it's way more than what I need, but I like this symmetric, and I like it. I like to use minimum amount of beacons to achieve my goal, and I came up with this. And you might wonder why I need this. It's a complicated thing. I think. Oh, I don't know how I do this, but it happened, and you can see there's a heavy use of circuits. The general concept is that I transport all of these science packs from really far away, and in order to have a fixed amount of science packs for each science looping in this lanes, I need to have a circuit to control how many are looping and how many are the rest will stay in these boxes. Because if you have too many science packs looping in this area, then eventually this area will be stopped by science packs you don't need, like military science. Sometimes you don't need them, and you occupy all of this place, and no more inputs can come in. And if you don't have enough science packs looping in this, then you starve many of the labs. And my paid productivity finished. What do I do next? Let's do some easy one. Let's do this one. Okay. Yeah. Basically that's it. I don't know. I design all of my base, and I think every tiny bit of it was a lot of introduction, and I put a lot of thoughts into it. And water is green as hell. Anyway, oh, I have a little pond that I keep 4 fishes in there. I wonder if they'll die under the heavy pollution. I don't know. We'll see. So that's for my video. Thanks for watching. Check out Factorio if you haven't done it. It's a great game. It's such a great game. I spent 400 hours in total, maybe 500 into it, and I did not regret it. It has taught me a lot. I think it deserves a proper closure, so I've written down something I'm going to share with you. First, do not underestimate how much you need and how big it's gonna get, because it's gonna be very big. My base is sort of small compared to many others. That's because I limited myself to the island. Don't do this if you want to do mega base, like 1000 SPM, unless you're just really into the idea of an island safe haven, like I did. Second, do a mall where you can just grab things to build stuff. I didn't do this. I did have a small mall, but it's very small. When I migrated my base, I had to tear it down and rebuild it again. This is counterproductive. Third, reality and your expectation can be different. Prepare some time for tuning and adjustment. That's the few points I've learned from playing. To me, this experience is not just useful in game, especially the first two. Do not limit yourself, have bigger vision, and spend time to improve your productivity instead of doing repeated work. Right. Thanks for watching. I meant for this video to be a personal thing, but if you happen to watch it this far, I hope you have found something useful. See ya.